Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and what you're about to watch is just a very short segment between myself and the Unfit Statesman. Recently, we spent over an hour plus together, and you can check out the entire thing uncensored over at Rockfin and Rumble, as well as Podbean. If you want to support this broadcast, don't forget you can buy me a coffee down below. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. Enjoy the video, but check out the whole thing on the uncensored platforms.
The companies and the people that you're bringing up are the people that have all of a sudden kind of become news, coinciding with the period in history right now where data mining and selling people's, tracking people, knowing people's history, knowing people's, like all of this, when you say upload human consciousness, people usually, they move away and they go, whoa, but it's like, they're kind of, like, at the very simplistic level, your shopping habits are that. Like, what's, I don't understand. Targeted marketing is that. I'm not entirely sure why you think that this is a far-fetched theory when you speak to people in a public space and go home and notice that what you spoke about an hour earlier is now an ad on your Instagram feed. Like, why all of a sudden are you now backing away? Why are you shying away from the theory that there is an attempt to be able to see into the masses' way of thinking and how they feel, their emotions, their consciousness? Like, I don't understand where the disconnect is. Because everybody will agree that there's targeted marketing and that their iPhone listens to them and that they fucking... But when you immediately, when you assign a motive to that, then all of a sudden they're like, well, that can't be. It's like, no, I think you're just a little nervous. You might be a little nervous and you're not entirely sure what's going on, and that's why you shy away from it. You don't want to think about it, because if worse comes to worse, which I think it will, these people are attempting to hack your fucking thoughts. That's what they want. That's what they want.
I wish it wasn't what they want, or what they've put on paper, or what they've done behind closed doors and now are putting out into the public. To talk about why it occurs that you start talking to people and all of a sudden you have these targeted marketing ads. I've been covering this for many years now, specifically on a software called Alfonso, which anybody can go check out. It is automated content recognition, and it's not just on your phone, it's on every smart device you can imagine. So you get around the federal law of having to wiretap by saying, hey, we're not recording conversations. Hey, a human being isn't listening in. Instead, we've created software and an algorithm that in real time uses a different method to decrypt auditory noises, and then, of course, video recognition. This is automated content recognition. And that's how they not only distribute these ads to you, but then market to other people, okay? That's real, that's live time. When you talk about the holodeck stuff that you just saw, this virtual environment that they're getting ready for the upload of consciousness, and I'm unfortunately going to have to play that clip too, where Dennis Bushnell says that's where it ends. And at the end of the day, the best we can hope for is we become the machines, they become us, or you end up with human contaminated machines. Those are his own words, okay? In the virtual universe right now, we're seeing the commercialized headsets. The World Economic Forum has already put out videos where you don't even need the haptic suit from Ready Player One. Many people are familiar with the idea that and now with Upload, I'm going to get into this suit and I'm going to feel like I'm anywhere. Not necessary. Let me repeat that. Not necessary. So how would they make you feel like you would be somewhere? Well, you would be in a location where haptic, auditory, and magnetic waves that you don't hear, but instead push pressure on your body everywhere as sensors see where you go, will give you the real feeling of touch. And then, of course, with smell, they can pump that in, by having those scents on demand. 5 sense virtual reality on the way to tricking you into believing that you can upload your consciousness. And if you do take a COM type device, right now Neuralink is the most popular because Elon Musk is a front man for that as well. That will interface directly with your endorphin systems. In fact, another document that I would encourage people to read, other than just the Bushnell documents, there's a couple of them, we'll bring that one up, is this RAND document about human brain interfaces. Okay? And when I talk about the World Economic Forum, what I'd like to let people know is that in 2020, before the COVID 1984 nightmare, they did a full forum on when, not if, when humans become cyborgs. And this woman that introduces it is so happy. She literally leads the speech with, we will start the forum on when humans become cyborgs. I personally cannot wait until I become a cyborg. Like, she looks like she's going to cry. She can't wait, dude. Like, these are the people we're dealing with.
Dude, it feels like everybody who's evil right now is either from Germany or somewhere in Scandinavia.
She's Chinese, this woman. But you know what? Let's bring a little bit of that up. Because it's just so unbelievable. I've downloaded it
How
before.
the Chinese are evil? Come on.
It's not, listen, the Chinese, in my opinion, are not quote-unquote evil. There are 1.2 billion of them. Unfortunately, they are the model, okay? It's just like everybody got up in arms in 2017 that was paying attention to privacy issues when it leaked out that Google was making a censored version of their search engine for China. It was called Dragonfly, okay? And Eric Schmidt was on his way out, and he got called out on it. And he, you know, basically said, go talk to Sergey Brin. He's the boss now. I'm not the boss. And then now, I hate it when I hear people talk about Chinese-style censorship. Hey, bro, you live in this country? It's here. It's just censorship. So that model of that same search engine is there. So when Google employees also walk the fuck out because they don't want to work on secret drone warfare programs, you best believe that, yeah, those drones might be utilized over in Yemen or now Ukraine or any other place, the United States and its allies are in battle. But if you don't think those will eventually be used against us, you're in imagination land. This is a reality. And, you know, let's do it. Let's do it live. Let's play this Dennis Bushnell clip for the audience. And this is, again, the same guy behind these two documents that I was just showing you, Future Strategic Warfare, and then the other one here I did not bring up and show, but we will show everybody. Another, again, NASA document, Disruptive Technologies and Their Punitive Impacts Upon Society and Aerospace Entering the Virtual Age. This is it, guys. They're not playing around here. You know, again, in the When Humans Become Cyborgs forum, they talked about a collective swarm-like insect intelligence. Lovely. Because that's what humanity needs to strive for, everybody. The swarm-like...
Humans are now becoming cyborg.
All right, you heard him. Humans are now becoming cyborgs. Let's bring him right over here. Lovely gentleman, this Bushnell.
God, of course his hairline's like that.
Oh, my...
Why fucking wouldn't it be?
Humans are now becoming cyborgs. We have cochlear implants to hear, artificial retinas to see, artificial hearts to live, artificial limbs to move, artificial organs to functions, and brain chips. There's a couple 100,000 people wandering around with brain chips now.
Let me repeat that for you in case you missed it. This is a 2018 speech. This guy is still the head of NASA 4 years later. In fact, he just gave a speech on aeronautics in June. I've been watching. Go ahead.
To be 100% fair to NASA, their first leader was Wernher von Braun, so they have to kind of keep, you know, they've set a model of their president and their leader as being kind of a horrible human being who wants to see the downfall of races and groups of people that they just have deemed not worthy. So they're kind of, at least they're consistent, NASA. That's what we're going to give them.
Well, you can't create the Uber mention without, you know, breaking a few eggs. So this is 200,000 people with human brain interfaces. Now, he's also going to tell you what
all
they
white.
do.
I guarantee you all white, because you go into fucking Harlem, there's nobody, no black guy is going to get a fucking chip in his head.
Well, again, who's volunteering for this? They're bringing it out commercially. I'll show that in a moment. It's pretty wild how they're doing so. But he's going to mention Elon Musk as well, because Elon's the best thing since breakfast.
Fix congenitally defective brains and increasingly to fix memory and other things. DARPA's working on brain chips for super soldiers. And people are now working, thanks to Musk and other people, funding direct machine-brain communications. It's not us versus them, us versus the machines. We're merging. And this is the human evolution of the humans. There is no more natural evolution of anything. People are convinced that the human evolution of everything is 10 million times faster than any natural evolution.
So that's it. Evolution is over except for what we do, okay? And then, you know, this is going to take a second to skip to, but I want people to understand, where does it all end up if this is the way it goes, okay?
The machines are...
Okay? Not only the machines taking over, but what do you end up with at the end of the day? We'll give him a nice little minute and a half here. He'll describe.
To be better, there will be essentially no jobs the machines cannot do. We currently have creative software that are doing ideation just as good or better than humans now. The creative jobs will be the last ones to go, but I have not been able to discern any jobs the machines cannot do as machine intelligence and all the rest of the autonomous robotics develops. So now we're to your question, okay, what do you do with these people? There's essentially three options. You've covered one, which is the guaranteed income.
Notice the UBI is a part of this. All right, so universal basic income, don't worry, the robots are going to do everything for you, but that's just a trick.
And the machines can produce the productivity, the wealth necessary to pay this. It's just the machines do the work instead of the people. Yes, you have to change the cultural milieu, but you know, this is eventually doable. This is only one approach. The second approach is the fact that what's changed since you last looked at this is the whole technology level, and we humans are now converting ourselves into cyborgs. We now have artificial retinas, artificial hearts, we have brain chips. DARPA's working on brain chips for super soldiers. We can have a high bandwidth COM port built in, so we don't have to use the sensors and their very limited bandwidth. And eventually this all ends up with uploading into the machines, and instead of us versus them, humans versus the machines, we become them, or they become us, or you end up with human contaminated machines. Now,
Human
This is
contaminated
honestly,
machines.
you know what these two fucking monologues are? They're a fucking like a marketing campaign for Annie Jacobson books, because she's been right about literally fucking everything.
And you know she's
By the way,
writing a new book,
I'm
right?
on your screen, you know.
She's writing a
I'm
new
on
book.
your screen right now.
Who's that? What?
I'm on your screen right now.
Oh, you are on my... Oh, that's right. I've got the wrong thing up here. I'm sorry, sir.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I was gonna give you. I was delayed. I was looking at myself. I was like, "Is this the machine? Is this the chip? Shit!
Well,
I knew I got chipped."
Annie's working on a new book that she says is terrifying. I've been following her on Twitter. She's a great follow. Those are great reads. For those not familiar with her work, you know, she starts with Area 51 because she's at a dinner party and somebody who worked at the site started telling her, boy, have I got a story for you, because all of a sudden some of the programs that they were working on this black site, including Lockheed Martin and Skunk Works, the Oxcart program, had began to become declassified. So she starts there. She starts realizing, oh, wow, Area 51's not about aliens at all. It's all about weapon systems, spying, high tech, etc. And then she realizes there's a bunch of Nazis involved. So she decides she's going to do a book about Operation Paperclip. She does that incredible work. And then she expands her work into DARPA, the Pentagon's brain. She gets
That was the one that turned. And here's the thing, just for that would be the one. If you're gonna read one, that's the one. Pentagon's brain. You realize that, like, I mean, here's even for like boomers, read that one, because the biggest war in their minds, like younger people don't seem to have too much of an issue outside of like the super left latching on to the idea that government cannot be trusted and they do nefarious shit. Older generations seem to have trouble with it. And if there's one thing that I could recommend anybody who's listening to this, I looked at my audience base. It's from 25 to 40. That's the high count, Jason. That's where we're peaking. You 40-year-olds and anybody who like all the 25-year-olds and your parents, have them read The Pentagon's Brain. And basically what it goes into a bunch of other shit besides what I'm about to tell you, but it will explain to them how the Vietnam War, was really just kind of a playground for DARPA. They were experimenting with new technology. Obviously, we staged the Gulf of Tonkin incident. We had, we were fighting communist insurgency, and we were really cared about the people in Vietnam who didn't want to be a part of a communist regime, even though that's fucking not true at all, and that's pretty provable with a very simple Google, not Google, like a DuckDuckGo search. Not even DuckDuckGo. They bought DuckDuckGo. I'm getting fucked, Jason. I had DuckDuckGo on my extensions. But the point is, if you read that and you show them that Vietnam, something that they're probably already teetering about, that like, yeah, we really fucked up there, and you show them, yeah, we had malignant intentions and we did it for a reason. We did it for a reason. DARPA had some things they wanted to test out. They had some sensors and some new weapons, and they had the Ho Chi Minh Trail where they put a bunch of shit. And that is the best book, I think, that could turn the older generations over to realizing some of the very malignant intentions that the upper echelons of our defense apparatus has.
Well, let me say this.
That's my best bet.
Her follow-up, she does a book called First Platoon. Okay.
Yep.
And she also does Surprise Kill Vanish, which is about covert CIA assassination. So at least in that respect, you get the idea that, hey, wait a minute, these guys do kill people covertly. That's not just something I watch in The Bourne Identity. But First Platoon is specifically about that next wave of technology being beta tested in the Middle East during the War on Terror and in Afghanistan, the smart dust stuff, etc. A lot of the stuff that's in that document that we talked about. So yes, I think that any of her books will let you know that we're not being told the whole story. She does so in a manner where she's not Jason Bermas, and she kind of gives the benefit of the doubt to the most altruistic of intentions, even if it's some of the darkest things that you read. She stays on the fence very well, and for those that maybe have trouble sitting down and reading or finding the time, I encourage them to get it on audiobook. Everybody takes a drive sometimes, and those things, she reads them all. Some of them are going to take you 14 to 20 hours to listen to, but I got to tell you, it's totally worth it. And she's not saying what her new book is about, okay? But I'm almost 100% sure it's going to be on transhumanism. She's talked about how the subject matter terrifies her, and it's pretty unbelievable and unreal and unsettling. And I'm not kidding you when I say she posted a picture. I think I retweeted it, of what the first draft of the book looked like. It was this high.